Down.
I'm looking for them, buddy. Hey, I'm trying to look around corners.
Sun is shining now.
Sure is.
It was foggy this morning.
And it was.
How's Jim doing?
He's good. Yeah, I saw him this morning.
Every now and then I'll see him at the fitness center.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Asking Mr. Stringfellow.
I knew he was going to be.
Mr. Pledge, chaplain,
And Mr. Pledge?
the pledge and the prayer.
Okay. All right. Here we stand. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity for us to meet today. We also want to remember this blessed holy season and the reason for it. Our Father, we also ask your blessings on our school system and all of our staff and our teachers and the superintendent and his staff and the children that are in our school. May they all be safe during this time of the year. We also ask your blessings and protection for our first responders, both abroad and at home. These things we pray in thy name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Throat.
Do we have an announcement, Mr. Hatchett?
Yes, more of a question. I guess I'd give everybody the report from the Sheriff's Department concerning flooring.
Okay, we'll put that in an executive session first, and then you can come back out and do it. Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Mr. Parson?
If we talk about a policy, would that be executive session or would that be come up now?
Open.
Both?
Open.
Open.
You talking
Open.
about policy?
A policy.
Open session. What kind of policy?
I just want some clarification on that particular policy.
Okay, that's open session.
Oh, okay. We'll get back to that at the end. Mr. Stringfellow?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Superintendent, you have an announcement? No, sir. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's just one of the.
Go ahead.
I guess I'm really not sure, it's my first one here. I know we got the agenda, and I don't know if you can add agenda, is now the time, or can you do that now?
Add an item to the,
Discussion. It's one thing that was brought to my attention, I don't know, our nutrition people dealing with our food buying, and the information I got, if you buy food that's grown in the state of Alabama, strong here, there's a program that you get, I believe, 20% refund. It's brought to my attention, I don't know if we've ever used it or need to use it, but it sounds like maybe some dollars we can save. Check into that, I can give you the information.
Yeah, it's actually being vetted now.
Okay.
if you just think of anything else, you catch it. Yeah. Okay. All right, Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, sir. Action item C1 is with Kids First Education. It is to provide professional development for teacher effectiveness in English language arts, math, and special education student support. That's coming out of federal funds for $1,399,775. That's C1 with Kids First. C2 is an agreement between us and the district attorney's office with Helping Families initiatives. It is to provide partnerships to reduce truancy and disruptive behaviors. That's coming out of federal funds for $100,000 and district local funds for $400,000 for a total of $500,000. Action item C3 is an agreement between us and Aptgy. It is to redesign the district and school website to effectively communicate with stakeholders as well as provide ADA compliance. That's coming out of local funds for $340,000. C4 is McGraw-Hill. It is to provide a 53-day customized job embedded coaching professional development for 52 elementary schools. That's coming out of federal funds for $193,450. C5 is the University of, it's the Mitchell Center for our 2025 high school graduation. That will be held May 12th through May 20th. That's coming out of district local funds for $119,100.
Mr. Superintendent, is that amount equivalent to what we paid last year?
No, it pretty much goes up every year. I think when we first started off, it was around $75,000.
Really?
Yeah. So it
Things
goes
always
up.
go up and not down, huh?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Superintendent, I don't have a inkling about the cost of transportation. Is it $30,000 for the JAG train?
Yes, sir.
And I know that's used to bring people back and forth from the parking space.
Yeah. Parking is not the best at South Alabama.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Any other questions?
All right.
Continue, Mr. Superintendent.
C6 is the Department of Rehab Services for the Coronavirus State Fiscal Recovery Funds, and this is a grant to provide communication devices for special needs students, and that amount is for $50,000. C7 is
Hang on. How many students will that cover?
their devices, so you can utilize them throughout, so it's not a number of students, it's,
How many devices will they be getting?
I'm not sure, it's not listed in there, Nicole?
I can't see mine. I'm blank, buddy.
Yeah.
Chuck, you get a chance?
Yeah, I will make a note of that and get you that answer. All right, any other questions? All right, C7 is clearly speaking. This is a revision. We added some more schools. This is for speech therapy for our private school students. The original contract was for $15,000. The addition is $35,000 for a total of $50,000. C8 is with the Mobile County Commission for E.R. Dixon. It is to provide supplies and lighted stand-up letters. Again, that's coming out of County Commission for $20,000. C9 is also with the Mobile County Commission for Wilmer Elementary. It is to provide funds for supplies and student-teacher incentives. Again, that's coming out of County Commission for $20,000. C10 is hatching results. It is a one-day professional development for winter professional development for counselors. That's coming out of Title II funds for $16,000. C11 is Bailey Education for Pearl Haskew. It is to provide English language arts, teacher effectiveness for coaching for third grade teachers. That's coming out of Title I funds for $15,000. C12 is AccuTrain for funding. It is to provide a 2-day, 6-hour professional development. That's coming out of Title I funds for $14,775. C13 is also with Bailey Education for Pearl Haskew. It is to provide English language art teacher effectiveness coaching for the entire staff. That's coming out of Title II funds for $10,500. C14 is Gulf Regional Early Childhood Services. It is to provide early literacy project, which aims to enhance childhood development. That's coming out of Title I funds for $10,000. C15 is with the Gulf Coast Performing Arts for Craighead Elementary. It is to provide extended day after school enrichment, coming out of 21st Century Grant for $9,562.50. C16 is also with the Mobile County Commission for Bryant Career Tech to provide funds to install canopy systems. Again, that's coming out of County Commission funds for $9,000. C17 is with HMH for Gilliard Elementary. It is to provide a 1-year site license to use writable student subscription. That's coming out of Title I funds for $7,200. C18 is Mobile Convention Center for Baker's High School Prom 2025 prom, which will be held March the 28th, coming out of local funds for $6,992. C19 is for Team Spring Tutorial Services for Pathway. It is to provide a 7-day professional development and coaching program for language art teachers focused on literacy skills. That's coming out of Title I funds for $6,000. C20 is Renaissance Learning for funding. It is to provide a site license for Accelerator Reader for 625 students. That's coming out of Title I funds for $5,806.25. C21 is Orchard Elementary School for miscellaneous upgrades. We had 3 bidders. We went with the lowest bid of Youngblood and Barrett for $4,150,874, and that's coming out of the Lieutenant Governor's grant.
Let me, Mr. Superintendent, let me ask you something. How much input has the administration at Orchard had in the plans and what's to be done with that money?
They created the plans with the OM2, yes.
Okay, thank
They
you.
were submitted to us.
Thank you.
Okay. C22 is Mary B. Austin Multi-Purpose Building. We had 6 bids. We went with the lowest bidder. It was Youngblood and Barrett for $3,585,323. That's coming out of grant and local funds.
Mr. Superintendent, also, I would like to be made aware of the date and time that they're having a groundbreaking ceremony, if they hadn't already had it.
No, it's a little early, but yeah, I'll let you know.
Thank you. Get my back over.
It's long time coming for that multi-purpose building.
Very much so.
Yeah,
Back then, back in the day, it was,
a wooden,
my district,
yeah,
that particular school, and of course, it's landlocked.
Right.
That's the problem with
Yeah.
that, so I hope, I get evidently I've got
as long as we don't cut the tree down.
exactly.
Old Ann, I think it's, yeah. All right, C23, new access drive and parking area at Baker High School. We had a change order. We had a decrease of $10,000, making the total amount $700,934 coming out of ARP funds. C24 is Clark Shaw Magnet School's elevator. We had 2 bids. We went with the lowest bidder, which is Dixon Contracting, for $490,785. That's coming out of PSCA funds. C25 is Booth Elementary Controlled upgrade. We had a change order of an increase of $21,296 with a grand total of $310,396.46. That's coming out of PSF funds. C26 is Central Nell School Athletic Building. The Architect Selection Committee selected All Red, and that's also coming out of the Lieutenant Governor's grant.
Question.
Mhm.
Do we have a scope of work on that particular building? I've been getting a lot of interest in what we're doing there. So the building's 65 years old. I think it's had some work, it's the old block building. It was messed up the other day, HVAC, it's sweating. It's a very, it's just, in my opinion, that we got to do a lot of work or replace it. Do we know, what we're gonna do there with this? I know we got 500,000 from, should have had from, I think Central Williams.
I thought it was a little bit more than that, but
Well,
yeah, I thought it was a little bit.
625, okay.
Yeah.
And we've got a meeting scheduled there for tomorrow. Originally, we went out and looked at it, just to add on to that building. But since then, I've heard this morning that they may have some additional funding coming to possibly build it.
Well, that's what I was wondering, what the scope of work was at this point, we really don't know.
But I would pretty much,
I just know for years growing, I know just from the middle school to that school, the volume within that is really grown, and now it's outgrown that building. I do know that.
we do know there are some concerns about the building that you're talking about.
So I know we had a time period to get these architects, was thanking for doing that, because I think the money come in, we
Yeah, we got 1 year.
got 1 year, and it's been a couple of
So there
months.
was an urgency to go and get the architect on board, so we knew it was gonna exceed the amount that we needed on.
Okay, thank you.
All right, C27 is just a listing of a parcel. It's the Tanner Williams, the building that the Civic and Historical Society own, to list the property of the land right beneath it. C28 is a proposal of Tenaska regarding the carbon dioxide that we had the work session concerning this project. But this action item gives the superintendent and Lewis Anderson and the council to negotiate the contract to bring back before the board. C29 is Auburn University's Student Teaching Placement Agreement. There's no cost associated with the next two. C30 is also with the University of Southern Miss, also for student teaching placement. C31 is Clinical Experience Agreement between Western Governors University. It's the same as student placement. And C32 through C42 is listed under separate cover, which is personnel. Are there any questions?
Contracts, that will come under now, right? I didn't know we had I understand that may be something you may or may not be aware of. Dealing with there's umpire associations. We have one here in Mobile. I think there's another one that's come along. If we were going, that's presented all their information, we have the schools can choose, there's a choice between these two organizations. Do we get involved in that, or is that a local school matter, or is that a contract?
You just voting on the contract for us to use both associations, and the school will be able to choose which one.
Are we there? Are we know about that?
Yeah, we did it last year.
Okay, well, I got a call today saying it was being done now.
No, we do it every year.
Yeah, there was only one school, one organization last year, right?
No.
No, it was two.
Yeah. Is it you're talking about basketball, right?
Well, it was basketball last year, and I hear that there's going to be a baseball split,
Oh,
and we'll
okay.
do it just like we do
That was
basketball.
baseball, you're exactly right.
Right.
We didn't do it now.
Right.
I just want to make sure that.
Yep.
Let that fall to the right.
All right. On to the consent. D1 is for Rosetta Stone for Theodore High School, is to provide a 75 language learning software site licenses. That's coming out of Title I funds for $4,820. D2 is Turn It In for Murphy High School. It is to prevent plagiarism for students and maybe teachers. For Title I funds for $4,811.60. D3 is Kahoot for Florence Howard. Its standard license will allow for 800 students. That's coming out of Title I funds for $3,667.92. D4 is Renaissance Learning for Orchard Elementary. It is to provide a site license for Accelerator Reader for 508 students. That's coming out of Title I funds for $4,778.44. D5 is Quizzy for Clark Shaw to provide teachers and students a one-year site license for 585 students. That's coming out of Title I funds for $4,650.75. D6 is also with Renaissance Learning for Spencer Westlawn to provide a site license for Accelerator Reader. It's coming out of Title I funds for $3,785. D7 is the Cookery Project for Craighead Elementary. It is to provide culinary professional development to develop a comprehensive approach to improving food literacy. That's coming out of 21st Century Grant for $3,600. D8 is Old Pete Key for Burroughs. It is to provide a professional development for 50 teachers to motivate and empower also 400 students. That's coming out of Title I funds for $3,500. D9 is Pick My Kid for Linecoff Elementary. It is to provide a one-year site license for a comprehensive dismissal platform for 540 students. That's coming out of Title I funds for $3,250. D10 is IXL Learning for Hankins Middle. It is to provide a one-year classroom license in the subject area of science for 775 students. It's coming out of Title I funds for $3,100. D11 is Next Level Training for Forest Hill Elementary. It is to provide professional development for 67 faculty members, building purpose-driven partnerships. That's coming out of state funds for $3,000. D12 is with Rosetta Stone for Hankins Middle. It is to provide 25 language learning software site services. It's coming out of Title I funds for $3,000. D13 is with David Monroe. It is to maintain the scholarship portal and provide training for school counselors. It's coming out of federal funds for $3,200. D14 is Explore Learning for North Mobile. It is to provide Reflex Math site license. It's coming out of state funds for $2,636. D15 is Learning Alley for Anna Booth. It is to provide a school-wide site license, 24/7 access for online library, and it's coming out of state funds for $2,599. D16 is Quizzy for Tanner Williams. It's to provide teachers and students one-year site license. That's coming out of Title I funds for $2,385. D17 is with Sunnyside Theater to provide an in-school production for Scarborough Middle. That's coming out of 21st Century Grant for $2,250. D18 is with Renaissance Learning for Nan Gray. It is to provide a site license for Accelerator Reader. It's coming out of Title I funds for $2,173.80. D19 is Go Guardian for Whitley Elementary. It is to provide a one-year site license for 220 students. It's coming out of Title I funds for $1,716.60. D20 is Operation Mobilization for Grand Bay. It is to provide a 140-minute unit show presentation coming out of local school funds for $1,500. D21 is with the musical theater. It is the Bring It On musical coming out of local school funds. This is for Alma Bryan, I'm sorry. It's a musical, Bring It On, coming out of local school funds for $1,145. D22 is to rent the National Maritime Museum for our PACE meeting, parent and student PACE meeting, scheduled for January the 30th. For gifted students, this coming out of gifted funds for $1,100. D23 is with the County Commission for Alba Middle to provide funds for a trip to go on the U.S. Robotics Tournament. That's coming out of County Commission funds for $1,000. D24 is Gimkick Kit for Dixon Elementary to provide a one-year site license coming out of state funds for $1,000. D25 is also the rental of the National Maritime Museum for a second PACE meeting scheduled for January the 3rd, coming out of gifted funds for $875. D26 is Paint Party Studios for Scarborough Middle to provide art instructions to approximately 70 summer program students. That's coming out 21st Century funds for $700. D27 is Braining Camp for Hutchins to provide a one-year site license renewal coming out of Title I funds for $650. D28 is Extra Math for Collier Elementary. It is to provide a 12-month extra math premium license, which includes unlimited teacher and students on campus. It's coming out of Title I funds for $500. D29 is our Mardi Gras Association, our 2025 Mardi Gras Association for our band participation of the host of Mardi Gras parades listed here, and that amount will be determined by participation. D30 is the contract between us and Parchment. It is to provide records that are requested, transcripts that are also requested online, ordering online. D31 is our out-of-county travel. D32 are various bids. Are there any questions on the consent? Moving on to our work through item, flow through. We have 4. I think 2 of them are redundant. I think 1 and 3 are the same. But we have Cottage Hill Christian, Mobile Christian, and Government Street Christian. But we have 4 of your flow through items for our private schools. And on to our information item. G1 is our monthly financials, and G2, purchase orders over $5,000. And we have 0 expulsions.
Okay. Any questions to the superintendent?
I mentioned earlier, I was going to ask one of the questions
Yes,
about
ma'am.
the policy. Is this the correct time?
Yes, go ahead.
It's not really a policy, I don't believe, and I know you're aware of it, policy for banning somebody or what from our campuses. And, with that, from 0 to a school calendar year. So that could be, whenever started, it could be 365 days. My question is, there's no discretion in it, I don't guess. That's my question. Or is there any discretion in it? My understanding there's not. It says flat out 0 or flat out the remainder of the school year. Is that correct?
I believe that would be determined by the principal resource officer that's on that campus.
So there's discretion then?
Yes.
Because, well, that's why I was told that I was good. I think there should be some discretion.
Normally, it's for a calendar year.
Right, because I know it's not a policy, but it's a letter from the lawyer. The lawyers that we got know.
That's pretty much our standard. But it's not a policy.
So it can be, it's not 0 to 365 like it says. This way it's worded, the way I see it, the way I read it. It doesn't say anything.
If it's an athletic event that's open to the public, we can't ban them unless they actually cause disruption at the particular event because of First Amendment concerns. But you can ban from the campus.
Well, I get all that, I just,
Yeah.
about the time period from 0 to 360, or to,
Yeah, that's, I think they're talking about, you can go into the next, if it happened at the end of the year, you could go into the next year with the
Right.
number of days.
right.
So there is discretion, is what we get.
Yes,
That's the only question
So
I
the
have.
discretion
Yes,
lies
it's
with the
discretion.
principal, is that correct?
discretion for the principal.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. All right,
I'd like
Mr.
to, we talked over today, Superintendent, about Andre Reed is a lobbyist for us, and he's also lobbying for Sims. And I think that's kind of a direct conflict, seeing that Sims has already stated that they want to go ahead and annex our properties in and through legislation and then take, start their own school system. I'd like for us to look into that and make sure that, we're being represented, wholly. For Sims,
He
yes.
just got that.
No, I think he's had it for a couple of years.
Oh, man, I saw it the other day, but really, he was, paid for $4,000 a month, but, yeah, it sounds, we don't want conflict. I don't think it's illegal, my understanding, but whether it's something that we want.
Frank, I have a question for you. If we have a contract with someone and they have, let's just say, not lived up to their contract as far as maybe didn't perform the work properly or didn't perform the work at all and receive payment for it, would that be grounds for breach of contract?
Grants for termination.
Termination, okay. So if that's happened, we need to look in that direction?
Yes.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna ask that in the future, when we getting ready to address the superintendent or whatnot, that you go through the chairman of the board, simple, so I can have some, continuity in what we're doing. I don't mind you asking, but just said, Mr. President, I wanna ask a question to the superintendent. Is that all right?
Sure.
All right. All right. Anything?
Well, could I ask another question?
Yes.
I want to follow up on what Mr. Hatcher said.
Okay.
From what I've seen from the news and different things and the report we have here. And evidently, I hope I'm wrong, but this particular company, this contract, it's not a bid thing, I guess, or yearly, that particular company's still working for our system. I don't know, I hope that's not the case, but it may be. And what's the way to get our money back? What I've seen and heard, we want our money back. I want my money back for the kids in this system. And do we need to sue them civilly? Do we need to go into, how do we need to handle that?
I really think, gentlemen, this should go into executive session so we can discuss all aspects of it, rather than just saying all contracts. So,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive
Let-
session.
okay, let me get to the last items here. Mr. Turner, do you have anything?
We have 6 employment agreements, 5 of which I sent emails to the board on December 2nd, and 1 I sent on the December 6th.
All right.
They'll come up Wednesday for
All right. So you all have any problem with putting those matters on the agenda?
None.
Okay? All right. Mr. Stringfellow?
I think it's normal procedure, I may be incorrect, but I think it's normal procedure that we go into executive session to discuss contracts and issues that have been brought up with personnel, and issues like that in regular board setting,
Yeah.
which would be Wednesday.
Okay. So we will, go ahead, Mr. Hatcher.
This wouldn't be personnel, this would be contractors. that we're
But
talking
that's
about.
people. But that's people,
Yeah.
Don.
Pending legal matters,
I'm not
because that's where it's
saying
headed.
not to go into exec, I'm just saying that's normally done in regular board.
general
This is a work
general
session.
reputation of an individual would.
Yeah.
They're here.
Okay. All right. We,
Another thing, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman, I'd also like to ask that we start streaming these, we talked about this before, streaming the work sessions, and I was told that they do stream them, but that's not correct. What they do is they'll put them on YouTube, and you have to be a Mobile County authorized, public school authorized personnel to access them. I don't think that's fair to the public. I think the public should have access to it. I think they all should have access to the contracts before we vote on them. That way they can look at them too. I mean, it's their money. It's only right.
What's that situation, Mr. Superintendent?
I think we record them, we put them online.
We put the meetings are live and the meetings we just record, or the work sessions we just record.
Do we put them online?
They're on the YouTube, but they're in the private until you tell us otherwise.
Okay,
Take them out of private.
all right. Anything else?
So we can't go into executive session?
We are going,
Oh, we're gonna have facilities meeting, correct?
yes, sir, after this, but we are going into executive
I
session
would like to,
Wednesday.
I thought we couldn't go in it today.
no, she's not.
Wednesday is the regular board meeting.
Wednesday, okay, all right. Those matters can hold to Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay.
Facilities today.
Yes, yes, sir. Mr. Superintendent, I'd like to ask that, you put on the agenda, I have the petition for the rename, the old Viger building on Mobile County Training School campus after Miss Melina McCants. I have the, yes, I'll give it to you tomorrow. I left my home, but it's an old building, but it represents the heritage of what is going on, and she also had worked over 40, 50 years at Mobile County. Some citizens asked me about it, I just forgot the petition. Okay. Anything else?
Scheduling meetings.
The scheduled meetings. Any meeting scheduled? Okay. All right, Mr. Superintendent, you have anything? No. Mr. Hatcher, you have anything?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Parson?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Get a motion to adjourn?
So
Motion.
moved.
All right, we have the facility meeting at what time?
Friday.
Give us 30 minutes in between, if you don't mind.
All right.
Catch up on my work.
Requested.
All right, give me 15.
15 minutes. We have a 15-minute break before we go into facility committee.
When it's scheduled. Renee.
All right, we'll go get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
No, I don't make that motion. Chair can't make that motion. Have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Meeting adjourned. 15-minute break.